Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions, and I'm here with a viewer request for Tim Minchin, and the song is called Play It Safe. I don't think I've ever heard this one before. I have reacted to Tim Minchin before. There's a playlist if you want to see them. The last video I tried to put up, Confessions by Tim Minchin, I tried 3 or 4 different times doing different things, and it just kept getting blocked, so there was no way for me to get it on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to end up posting that one unless I think of some other way of getting it to work, because it just didn't seem to work. Hopefully this one will, but I might have to put words in front of the video. That didn't work on the last one. It still got blocked everywhere. There's nothing I could do about it. We'll see. But if I do have to put words, I apologize in advance. Although I'm not sure what we're going to see here anyway. It does say Sydney Opera House 50th anniversary, so we shall see. Just before I jump into the music, if you don't mind pushing that subscribe button, it helps the channel a lot. And if you want to help some more, check in the description. There are ways to donate to the channel, Ko-fi and PayPal donation. There's also a way to bump up your request. It's only $5 now. I actually dropped it a little bit. And I am putting requests on the regular list, but it's really long, so it will take weeks or months for me to get to yours, likely, unless there's a reason for me to bump it up. But otherwise, just check in the description. You can do that. There will also be a link there to Tim Minchin's channel, so you can go and subscribe and like videos and comment and support the artist. Enough of me babbling. Let's go with Play It Safe. If I have anything to say about the lyrics, I think they're going to come up here. But sometimes they don't work well. We'll see. A little lemon rind there.
You gotta keep it simple. Life is like a song. There are tunes that folk are used to, so if you want them to sing along, just keep it simple. You ought to play it safe. Life is just a game. People.
Don't worry, I'll back up. I just want to say a couple things off the top. Gorgeous venue, of course, and not simple in its construction. When he sang that and then they showed that, I thought, well, that's not simple. Great. The orchestra is fantastic too. We've heard them before with Tim. Really amazing. And Tim's voice is really good too. I've mentioned it several times that uh, he does serious things too, but he's often comedic. But he's also an excellent singer and a super piano player as well.
Life is like a song. There are tunes that folk are used to, so if you want them to sing along, just keep it simple. You ought to play it safe. Life is just a game. People like the rules as written, so just give them more of the same.
Gorgeous.
No one likes a smart ass. No one likes it complicated. If you want to go the distance, find the path of least resistance and just take it. You don't want to stick your neck out. They'll take your head off if you do. They're gonna rip your head off. Just sit up the back and judge others. Hey, sit down. It'll keep them from judging you. If you're too...
Okay, sorry if I'll stop more because I'm doing the lyrics at the same time here. I apologize for that, but yeah, so just go with the flow. You could see him walking against the flow there. So he's sort of singing one thing but I think sort of in a facetious way or a sarcastic way and meaning another, and it's sort of showing Nelson Mandela too. He didn't just go with the flow. Of course, he fought back and eventually got released from prison and made change, and some glimpses at some of the things that some of the performances at the Sydney Opera House too. And I'm sure they're amazing. I've never been to Australia or obviously Sydney, but yeah.
You don't want to stick your neck out. They'll take your head off if you do. They're gonna rip your head off. Just sit up the back and judge others. Hey, sit down. It'll keep them from judging. If you're too hard to stomach, you'll never amount to nothing. something, ain't that something? No one cares what you have to say. Just shut up and play the role you're cast in.
All the world's a stage.
You see, all the world's a stage.
All the men and women merely
So just say the lines you're given exactly as they're written, and for God's sake, act your age. No one likes
Iggy
a
Pop.
show off. No one likes a clown. Just make sure you don't stand out in the crowd. That way they can't cut you down. You gotta build your walls around you. You build them straight and make them square. That way you'll blend in with the background. That way no one will point and stare.
Does nothing for the average Australian. No one cares about the arts. No one cares about architecture.
It is a waste of taxpayer dollars.
It is a
So this is probably what was being said as it was being built, and it often is said about artistic endeavors, but some other things too. People outside of or not interested in a certain construct, let's say, for lack of a better word, don't understand why the money is being spent on that. And there's often some very good reasons. And certainly I think there is, we need art, we need poetry, we need music, we need comedy, we need all of these things to keep our humanity. And it's getting more and more frightening in some ways that we seem to be moving away from that. But hopefully it will prevail, and we'll come back to it. I know a lot of people still appreciate those things. But yeah, a lot of people probably didn't want to see it built, thought it was a waste of money. We have issues here in my local city, building a new library um, was needed for many, many years. Uh, I don't know all of the minutia and everything, and the time it took. It's probably going to cost a lot more now than if we didn't pulled the trigger years ago, especially if it was pre-COVID. But you know, do we need a library? Yet some people will argue, no, we don't need a library. We don't need people don't read books anymore, etc., etc. And of course, this will have lots of updated things, I'm sure. But so people are always going to argue, particularly if they don't use the resource, then they don't want to pay for it through their taxes, etc. Right? So to them, it's a waste of money. But whatever their project is would not be a waste of money.
does nothing for the average Australian. No one cares about the arts. No one cares about architecture.
It is a waste of taxpayer dollars.
It is a failure.
Didgeridoo.
You gotta stick to your convictions. You gotta nail down your views.
Nail 'em down.
You wanna steer clear of the discomfort you feel when you walk in another person's shoes.
You don't need that.
You gotta work out who your team is, then wear the badge with pride. Find a box that makes you comfortable, and then stay back inside. On the first day the Lord gave you television, on the next he delivered a couch. He delivered. Tell me how to explain all this content. If the universe wanted you out and about, toe the line, don your suit, hide your truth, wipe your tears, don't cause trouble, find your bubble, stick to black and white ideas, play it safe, know your place, know your lines, know your limits, find a doctrine, get it locked in, build a box and stay in it, toe the line, don your suit, hide your truth, wipe your tears, don't cause trouble, find your bubble, stick to black and white ideas, play it safe, keep it beige, keep it simple and same-ish, leave the weird ideas to the Danish.
Okay. Mm.
You gotta play it safe. Your mind is like a house. If you keep it locked up tight, you just might keep the world out.
Exactly. exactly. But he's, of course, being very sarcastic here, and or maybe not even that. It's just sort of cautionary note, I think. You really want to keep your mind locked up so tight that you can let nothing in, and like he says, pick your box and stay in it. That's I think we all have both feelings that we should break free and we should be, this free floating person. But then on the other hand, it's so comforting to stay within our zone, our happy zone, our comfort place that we don't always want to do that. So I think probably you need a little of both. I think most people need a little bit of both. I think uh, to some extent you want to pick what you believe in and what you choose, but then be open to new ideas and learning. And of course, I, I do have my shirt on today. I usually do, but not always. And sometimes I'm pointing to it and there's nothing there. LTL Tutoring Central. And I always say be a lifelong learner. I learn all the time myself, and I'm teaching every day, um, or most days. So I think that's important to make sure you don't close yourself in too much. There are ideas that I don't agree with, but I still listen to the arguments for them because maybe one day someone will convince me. Maybe one day there will be an argument or a piece of evidence that will change my mind. It'll have to be a good one. It'll have to be well constructed, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because I don't believe that now doesn't mean I never will if, and it's a big if in some cases, but if there is some good evidence or good arguments or good proof, I'll be open to it. Open to accepting something new. And of course, there's always lots of new things to learn that I didn't know before. So I'm pretty open to anything that I haven't heard and haven't made any decisions on before. So why not? But yeah, it's comforting to stay in your zone, and anyone can do it. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're on the so-called left or the so-called right or somewhere in between. Anyone can get stuck in their box or stuck in their rut, and the other is always wrong and always bad and always evil, and then becomes quite hyperbolic sometimes, and certainly is in many places. But of course, in America right now. I'm in Canada, but in the United States, when I say America, I usually mean the United States. Not all of North America and South America, but in the United States, there's a huge division, and yeah, but everybody can get stuck in their box. Everybody can get uh, com combative and protective. We're going to stay in here. And meanwhile, we should get outside. And of course, he talked about TV. Well, that's literally a box. Well, it used to be, it used to be literally a box. But and the idea of just get spoon fed what you should believe or how you should live or whatever. And then of course people on the this didn't go into the internet age, but people are watching what they like and what makes them feel comfortable. So once you do that, you start, the algorithms start feeding you what you've already liked and what you've already watched. So you tend to just keep seeing the same thing, just confirming your bias and not looking at anything else. So break out of your box, look at some other news items and look at some other programming and just see if there's something else out there that challenges your point of view. And like I say, I like to do that sometimes. I like to have a look around, see what else is being said. And sometimes I agree with it or partially agree with it. And sometimes I still hate it and push it away and say, nope, not good enough. But at least you're looking, at least you're acknowledging that there are different things. Anyway, this was hilarious and serious at the same time. Lots of things to think about. Beautiful video too, showing some of the acts that are at the Sydney Opera and showing a little bit of the construction and what was going on and the arguments about you know, why they shouldn't build the Opera House. And of course, it's really famous now, and I think most people around the world love it. There's always going to be some people who still don't, I guess, and no matter what you're talking about. But yeah, it's very iconic now. At the time, it probably, obviously by some people wasn't seen that way. So if you're there, you can let me know if you were around at that time or you've learned about it later and have a lot more information. I was around, I was in the world, but I wasn't paying a lot of attention to what was going on in Australia. I don't think we probably got a lot of information back then. A little bit maybe, but not a lot. Anyway, I've talked too long. Let's hope this video will get up. Uh, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Check in the description for a link to Tim's channel and other ways to help this channel. In the meantime, keep listening, keep having fun. Look outside your box once in a while. It's Ron from RJJ's Reactions. Bye bye for now.